Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing U.S. immigration, and we're also discussing the issue of civil unions here in the kingdom. It's recently come to my attention that it's a really sincere possibility that the Thai government may legalize same-sex civil unions here in the kingdom in the relatively near future. And that brings up the question, how would this impact the U.S. immigration process? Well, the short answer to that question is if the bill simply brings online civil partnerships or so-called civil unions and not full same-sex marriage, then it's probably not going to have a great deal of impact on the overall on the U.S. immigration process. And why is that? Well, essentially, the United States takes the position that while same-sex marriage is legal, same-sex civil unions and civil partnerships fall short of marriage for certain purposes. So, for example, the United States immigration apparatus is looking at marriage. They don't have a specific immigration category for civil unions, same-sex or otherwise, for that matter, and civil partnerships. And the reason for this is, I don't know, well, the policy reason goes back, decades, if not hundreds of years, and that also stems from the fact that civil unions are a relatively new concept, and so, the immigration law predates civil unions, conceptually. But that being said, they basically are looking at marriage. You're either married or you're not for purposes of immigration. Civil union falls short of that, so it would not be possible based on a civil union alone to go ahead and file, for example, for a CR1 visa for a Thai spouse, same-sex, or for a same-sex K3 visa, for example, or for that matter for a same-sex IR1 visa as the spouse of an American citizen, because in the eyes of that particular body of law, same-sex civil union or civil partnership does not rise to the level of marriage. That being said, a civil union would presumably still allow for the filing of a K1 fiancé visa, but depending on the circumstances of the given individuals in question, this may not be a particularly optimal category to utilize. The other thing to take away from this is I do believe that if civil unions are promulgated here in the kingdom, then there's a good possibility that we could see full same-sex marriage being legalized relatively shortly thereafter. It might take a few years, but I could see it happening sometime down the line from civil unions being recognized. That being said, they might not, so that remains to be seen, and we'll update you on this channel accordingly. But the thing to take away from this video is civil unions alone are deemed to not rise to the level of marriage for purposes of U.S. immigration benefits. So under most circumstances, I don't think civil unions are going to be that great of a benefit from a U.S. immigration perspective. That being said, there's other massively substantial benefits that will come about as a result of civil unions being legalized here in the Kingdom of Thailand, including succession rights pursuant to wills and estates, for example, certain medical determinations that can be made within the same-sex relationship, possibly adoption issues. These are all substantial things. So while it may not rise to the level of being considered a marriage for U.S. immigration purposes, same-sex civil unions are a very good first step for those in the LGBT community from a legal standpoint, because it can provide a substantial amount of benefits for those in those positions.